transformational coach and a dietitian. Today I'm going to speak to you about understanding and uncovering subconscious strategies that sabotage weight loss. We as people do what works for us. As soon as something no longer works for us, we stop doing it or change the strategy. I'm sure you can identify with that. Now, following on from that, just by being overweight, we are acknowledging, whether consciously or unconsciously, that our weight is serving us. If it wasn't serving us, we would have lost it. So you think that sounds ridiculous. How can I say that your weight is serving you? But in truth, there are many benefits to being overweight and holding on to weight. Let's have a look at an example. Peggy. Peggy was extremely overweight for many years, and she developed the debilitating symptoms of diabetes with neurological complications, and she landed up in a wheelchair. She had been from doctor to doctor seeking somebody who could help her, who could cure her disease. Eventually she found a doctor who really knew that he could help her. He put together a very holistic protocol. It covered looking at the emotional factors driving her eating behavior and her disease. It looked at an exercise rehabilitation program that would get her out of the wheelchair, as well as an eating plan. The doctor explained this very comprehensive protocol to Peggy. And at the end, he looked at her. He noticed uncertainty in her face. So the doctor said, "Peggy, do you want to be well?" Peggy's eyes welled up with tears. Her lips started quivering, and she said in a broken voice, "This lady who cares for me, meeting my every need, is the best friend that I have in this world." The fear of the pain of losing her, just the way she is in this form, to me seems more painful than getting rid of my disease with these debilitating complications. This lady has given me what I have longed for all my life. She is the best friend I have in the world. If I get well, I will have to take on a whole lot more responsibility. I'll have to care for myself. I'll have to pick up a lot of responsibilities that I've let go of. So for me, the pain of being in this wheelchair seems far less than the pain of doing what I need to do to get well and take back responsibility for my life. The truth is, I go from doctor to doctor to doctor, not doing what I know I need to get well, because I know what getting well will mean for my life. This is a wonderful example of how subconscious strategies can truly sabotage us from losing weight if we are willing to look at the depths of what lies below them. Another example is Susan's story. Susan was 50 kilograms overweight, and she was starting to develop the debilitating symptoms of obesity and the complications of diabetes with its neurological side effects. In working with Susan to uncover what was holding her and preventing her from losing weight, it became apparent that Susan had an enormous fear of not fitting in with her family. Her whole family were obese, and she was worried if she lost weight and she was slim, she wouldn't fit in with her family. Another factor that was holding Susan from losing weight is when she was younger, she was slim and her sister used to beat her up for being thinner. So she made a decision one day that she was going to eat more than her sister. She was going to make sure that she weighed more than her sister so she could beat her up if need be. This deep fear of Susan not fitting into her family is what was sabotaging her efforts to lose weight. From these examples, you can see how deeply ingrained our subconscious strategies can be in sabotaging our weight loss. Now let's take a look at you. Let's have a look at the steps that we need to go through in order to uncover and identify what factors are sabotaging our weight loss. The first thing we need to do is we need to look at the initial trigger or cause of our weight issue. We then look at uncovering the subconscious strategy. We move on to identifying alternate ways of achieving the benefits that this subconscious strategy is giving us. And then we look at identifying and clearing the SUB-DICTION. Looking at the initial trigger or cause, you want to identify when you first perceived yourself to be overweight. Was it in childhood, after you got married, after you had your children, after a traumatic life event, after the loss of a loved one, during a crisis in your business, or in a relationship that was hurtful or abusive to you? Once you've identified when you first perceived yourself to be overweight and your weight to be an issue, the next step is to go and look at what is your subconscious strategy for holding on to weight. The way we do this is to go and look at how our weight is serving us. You want to go and list at least 50 benefits that your weight is providing you, that holding on to the weight is giving you. Now that sounds ridiculous. I know you think I've lost the plot, but the truth is, it's not very difficult. I'm going to give you the steps to make it easy. So let's start. If we look at life in general, there are 7 basic primary life areas. Firstly, we are all spiritual beings. We all have a vocational component in our lives, a mental or personal development, academic growth. There's a financial aspect to our lives. We have a physical aspect. So the physical is your physical body, your physical well-being, as well as your physical environment. So your space, your home. There's a social aspect to all of us, as well as family. If you go and look at these 7 basic primary life areas and just find 7 benefits in each area, you already have 49 benefits. Now I'm going to give you a few examples to set you on your way. So let's go through each life area and look at 2 or 3 examples. These are just generic examples, but I want you to actually go and think for yourself, what are the personal benefits that you get for holding on to your own weight? Let's start by looking at the physical benefits. Physically, being large draws attention to you. You feel like you exist. This can be a really, really real benefit for many people. Let me give you an example. One of my clients weighed 175 kilograms, and she found that she just could not lose weight. She attended one of my workshops, and we were working through the exercises, and I noticed that she was struggling a little bit. She was getting some of it, but I said to her, let me help you. Let's have a look at what's sitting there for you. And what we did is a balance for her, which identified she had a belief, I feel like I don't exist. So on the inside, she felt so small, she felt like she didn't exist, that she was so scared if she lost weight, no one would see her. She was the top PA to a director high up in a corporate company, and everybody came to her for help and guidance, and that's where she got her sense of identity. And she was just so scared that if she lost weight, people wouldn't see her and they wouldn't come to her. So it can be a very real benefit, feeling like you exist. Another place where this plays a big role, you might find yourself in this, is in the corporate environment or in government. We often find women who really just so battle to lose weight. And the truth is, if you look at it, a greater presence, because you're larger, often makes it easier to hold your space in those very dominated male environments. As opposed to being a thin, slight little female, you hold more weight when you're in those environments. So a very real benefit. Being large draws attention to you. Another physical benefit is the sensory gratification of eating outweighs the enjoyment of being an ideal body weight. If we look at the mental benefits of being overweight, studying health, food and nutrition really grows your knowledge and your academic ability. And my experience is that every person that's overweight has actually tried so many diets. They've extensively researched the weight loss field, and they are very knowledgeable in terms of different foods, the weight, the contents of them, and what they need to eat. Another mental benefit is that planning all the food that you want to eat through your day assists in your organizational abilities. One finds that very overweight people, they have so clearly thought through every snack that they want. They've hidden stuff in certain places. There's chocolate in the bottom drawer, snacks here, biscuits there. And in fact, this assists with developing the neural pathways in their brain, which help with organizational abilities. We're now going to look at the vocational benefits of being overweight. There's that age-old saying, never trust a skinny chef. If you're in the catering business, it helps you reassure your clients when you enjoy food and you carry more weight. Another benefit of being overweight in the vocational space is that you don't like the limelight. You're under the radar screen for promotions and attention. In the family, there are huge benefits to being overweight. You feel like you fit in. We've just listened to Susan's story. Otherwise, enjoying cooking, entertaining, bonding opportunities with extended family is of far greater importance to you than maintaining an ideal body weight. Socially, one can easily identify with others. Weight loss is a topic that is such common ground for everybody. If you just bring up the topic of weight loss in a conversation at a party, you've got a conversation to last the whole evening. Culturally, it's often esteemed being big and beautiful. Weight loss is a stigma for being ill in certain cultures. Financially, if you don't enjoy physical activity, you don't spend money on a gym contract or sports equipment. Another benefit would be that you do less other activity, so you have more time to spend working, increasing the revenue generation opportunity. Spiritually, a bulge forms a protective layer, often over the heart area, to protect from emotional hurt. You're less physically active, so you have more time contemplating or meditating. Another spiritual benefit that being overweight provides is it helps to nourish your body, providing the nurturing you perceive you are not getting from others. Now that you've identified your benefits for being overweight, the next step in the process is to go and identify what alternative ways you can use to achieve these benefits that the eating has been providing you. So you want to go and list 4 to 5 alternate viable options to provide the same benefit to you as the eating has provided. So if we take an example, if for you, one of the benefits of being overweight is to fit in with the family. What are some alternate ways that you could feel you fit in with the family without eating? For example, going to the movies. You could plan a trip to the movies with the family. These days you can get coffee in the movies. You don't have to go and have a big box of popcorn and a soda. You could plan to go on an adventure golf or 10-pin bowling outing or even ice skating. Do something fun that involves activity. You could plan a games evening, for example, play board games or cards. What about even Wii Sport? That gets you moving. Alternatively, you can plan an outing like to the botanical gardens, somewhere where you can go and enjoy nature. Or what about scrapbooking? Making an album or a slideshow of family photos. These are all alternatives that you can choose instead of needing to eat to feel like you fit in with the family. The next step we're going to look at, which will bring this whole picture to a close, is looking at your SUB-DICTION. Now, what on earth is a SUB-DICTION? Do you remember at school in the science lab, we learned that for every action, there's an equal opposite reaction. And we kind of thought, yes, a little bit like the law of gravity, if I drop a pen, it's definitely going to fall to the ground. We left that in the science lab. But the truth is, that principle applies to every area of our life, including our emotions. We don't get a coin with only heads or only tails. You get both, heads and tails. You don't get lightness without darkness. You don't get a shadow without light. So this shows us that in our eating, if it is driven by an addiction, there is always a SUB-DICTION behind that addiction. And the SUB-DICTION is what you are avoiding. Let's look at an example to help you identify what your SUB-DICTION might be. Possibly, you are eating to nourish yourself, as then you feel cared for. A SUB-DICTION for this might be that you're avoiding the pain of the perception that no one cares for you or lovingly nurtures you. Alternatively, you might be avoiding caring for yourself spiritually and emotionally as you're avoiding past wounds. So you pay minimum attention to nurturing your soul and pay maximum attention to nurturing your physical body with food. Identifying your SUB-DICTION will now complete the picture for you in helping you gain a deeper understanding of what your subconscious strategies are for holding on to weight. If you'd like more information or you'd like help in clearing these subconscious strategies, I've developed a program, Mind Your Bulge, which will help you uncover your subconscious strategies, clear your limiting beliefs that are sabotaging weight loss, so that you can once and for all be free of the yo-yo diet cycle. The Mind Your Bulge program teaches how you can clear strategies sabotaging weight loss, clearing limiting beliefs about losing weight. It teaches how to clear addictions to certain foods, such as chocolate. It teaches a tool to help you manage emotional eating, such as cravings or binging. It teaches about hormonal balance and optimizing weight loss. It teaches you how to become internally inspired to lose weight so that you don't need external motivation, but can rather eat from a place of joy. I invite you to engage with the Mind Your Bulge program, either by joining us for a workshop or purchasing the Mind Your Bulge program, which you can download. Alternatively, it's available in a package with DVDs and a workbook that you can work through the exercises. These options are available on the Mind Your Bulge website, www.mindyourbulge.com. If you would like some more personal coaching around your weight, then I invite you to email me through the website so that we could set up a consultation. I do consult on Skype, so if you're not based in South Africa, we can easily accommodate you. I look forward to connecting with you.